Well, I guess everyone, it's time and cold enough to get this thing out and get back in the ice bath.
It's finally here, guys. It's that time of year where I can start getting back into the ice bath. Now, if you're a new viewer around here, you may not have seen the previous videos. I did this and the journey that I embarked on last year, where I started to take regular ice bath dips through the Lumipod that I purchased, which is set up in my garden. Now, if you want to know why I got into this and my reasons behind it, then you're gonna have to go and watch the previous video, and I'll put a link to that in the cards. But this video is not about that. This video is purely about my top 5 tips for anyone who really wants to get into ice bath dipping. So my first tip is to consider where you put this thing and how to look after it so it stays clean. You'll see the area is pretty sheltered. It's near or just close to my shed. I'm close to obviously the taps over here to fill it up when I'm cleaning it, and also the drain is just there, and you can see the nozzle pointing that way, so when I want to drain the water off, all I've got to do is extend the hose into the drain. The other thing here is to consider keeping it closed. Make sure you've got the lid on, so you keep dirt and you keep bugs and all those sorts of nasties out of your water. Now you'll also see, and you may have seen in the setup, I actually keep a couple of bromine tabs, and you can see it there just dispersing in the water, and that really does help to keep your water clean. And I think it really helped last year. Okay, this is my first dip of the season, and to say I'm looking forward to it, yeah, I'm absolutely dreading this. Right, what's the current temperature? So I don't know if you'll see this, but it's a shade under 10 degrees, so not massively cold, but cold enough. Now this is my second tip to you. If you're going to do this, take your time and breathe. Getting into this thing, it will take your breath away, and the trick, I believe, is just to focus and concentrate and just breathe and take your time. Now I'm going to be extremely lucky to be able to stay in this for 2 to 3 minutes. You know, usually I do probably 8 to 10, somewhere in that region, but I'm not quite at that at the moment. I suppose I better get on with this. So I'm in, everyone. Whew. Now, I don't usually talk or do anything when I get into this. I'm usually quite silent because I concentrate. So count yourselves lucky here, me talking to the camera. But I usually concentrate on what I'm doing, managing the sensations. And really this is flight or fight country, and thinking straight's even hard. That overwhelming fight to get out. It does get easier though. But concentrate usually on the goal of how long you're going to stay in. So I'm aiming for about 3 minutes. I think I can do it. One thing I definitely notice when I get in is my heart rate really rises initially in that shock of trying to overcome the cold, but after a minute, I've been in it nearly 2 minutes now and that's gone. Heart rate's coming down. And that's why I like to wear a watch, because it allows me to keep track of the time that I've been in. Heart rate's around 56 beats at the moment. Overcome the sensations and the urge to get out. It's nowhere near as bad now as when you first get in. You'll see I haven't got my hands in yet, or my head. Baby steps, that will come. What I also find quite enjoyable about this is sitting here and just listening to the birds, listening to the sounds. It can be quite therapeutic. I'm nearly at 4 minutes and the shiver is starting to begin. I think I'm going to leave it there. God, I'm cold. Okay, so I managed there about 4.5 minutes and I can feel the cold now. I'm shivering. And you're probably wondering what happens now. Well, yeah, I'm freezing cold, but that's where the magic happens. And I suppose my 4th and 5th tip here go together. And tip 4 is all about just embracing the cold. And watching, my previous videos, I go into what some of the benefits are for doing these ice baths and the magic that happens afterwards. And this is part of it. Now, the shiver, the way that our body goes into overdrive to try and raise our core temperature again, all of those things are really beneficial to you, and you have to spend time going through that. And that's where the benefits of what I just did are. So my final tip here is really not to go and rush to get warm. Don't go and run under a warm shower. The temptation is absolutely there to do that, but you've really got to try and let your body warm up naturally and don't rush that process. Otherwise, what's the point in going through what you've just gone through if you're not going to try and reap the benefits? Okay, I'm now going to go and warm up. How I'm going to do that, I'm just going to sit and put some warm clothes on and let my body do the work for me. It should take probably 20 minutes or so, and then I'm going to come back and speak to the camera.
A few moments later.
Right, okay, I'm more or less warm. I'm not perfectly warm, but I'm nearly there now. But there you go, guys. There are my top 5 tips if you're thinking about getting into this. I'm sure there are other little bits and pieces and other tips that people can add. And if you've got them and you do this kind of thing, drop them in the comments below. always appreciated. I've let that process happen naturally. I've not showered or anything like that. I'm due to do another training session later, so I will wait to shower after that. Right, I hope you've all enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all again in the next one.